So despite everything that has happened over the last few months, this isn't a video that we expected to be making. CM Punk has returned to WWE at Survivor Series WarGames, appearing at the end of the show, and we have got everything that we know so far. Some really, really juicy stuff here. We will start with what happened after the show went off the air. So as the show went off the air, we saw CM Punk posing at the top of the ramp, having made his grand return. We probably only saw him for maybe 90 seconds, 2 minutes on screen before we faded to black. That's the end of the show. A lot of questions to be asked. But what happened as CM Punk was posing there at the top of the ramp?
Well, Seth Rollins was being held back by WWE personnel, at ringside as Punk continued posing at the top of the ramp.
So, this is interesting anyway. It does perhaps indicate that Punk's first feud back will be with World Heavyweight Champion Seth Rollins. Maybe. But there's an extra interesting point to this. Boozer, responding to a fan who asked if the talent in the ring knew about the return, said none, just a few big names. Boozer, of course, has been responsible for various inside scoops within WWE and the pro wrestling industry as a whole. So that's a very, very interesting one. The fact that maybe that could have been an organic, real reaction by Seth Rollins, who has not minced his words regarding CM Punk over the last, well, quite a while now.
Yeah, I mean, there was a photo that went round. I'll pop it on the screen there as well, that was taken by a fan. And Seth Rollins, I mean, obviously, he could easily just be working. Maybe nothing has been set in terms of what happens going forward, but maybe Seth Rollins is, working himself into a way that he could do a program with CM Punk. But like in the photo there, he looks absolutely, he looks pissed off. He looks pissed off. He does genuinely looks pissed off.
He really does. And again, this is wrestling. This could just be to build to a program.
Yes.
That might be planned. That might not. Time will tell. We don't know at the moment. We're now going to run through what happened during the show, after the show, as well as some comments from Triple H and various other bits, contract status, etc. So during the show, toward the end of the WarGames match, Sean Ross Sapp of Fightful.com tweeting, they cleared people out of the section of the back for a couple of minutes. And then followed up saying, I'm told Triple H personally called for CM Punk's music at production. So very, very few people knew Triple H getting the production team to cue up that music, that Titantron video before. It feels totally mad talking about this, because I thought we'd be coming out of this just talking about Randy Orton coming back.
Yes.
I was not expecting this at all. It's very, very exciting stuff. Love or hate CM Punk, you can't help but talk about him. We certainly do.
Yeah, we certainly. I honestly, I genuinely, and we were sort of talking about it in the reactions, and I feel like it's one thing to sort of talk about, yeah, maybe Punk is coming back eventually to WWE, but I don't think so anytime soon. And then to actually see it happen, just left speechless in that moment.
Yeah, totally.
Which is amazing. Like, this was, I feel like, one of the best kept secrets that we've had in wrestling for a long time. If not one of the best ones, like just in general of all time. I was so taken aback, and I think a lot of people were kind of like, we're gonna see him here definitive, but I don't think anything was necessarily definitive until very, very last minute almost.
I would have been totally satisfied as a fan by Randy Orton's return. I thought it was some really good wrestling last night. I was very, very happy with Survivor Series anyway. But for that to happen, and you know what? We've talked about CM Punk so much, obviously, and his, the issues backstage in AEW, personal feelings towards CM Punk. It's a weird thing to admit that when he came out, I felt it again.
Yeah.
I was rewatching Money in the Bank 2011 for a video that we're making at the moment. And I was like, man, it sort of it was magic. It was absolute magic. Yeah. I sort of felt that again tonight, despite all the stuff that I've said.
Yeah, and it feels a little bit different maybe in terms of sort of with him turning up at AEW, and we knew it was a big moment, and it was incredible to see that happen as well, for him to finally come back to wrestling. But in the lead up to that, we were talking about it quite a lot.
Oh,
and
yeah.
we sort of knew, didn't we?
The worst kept secret.
Yeah,
in comparison to this.
In comparison, and
right?
again, it's happened again in a short space of time. Like, we've got so excited and just taken by surprise that this is actually a thing that's happening.
For sure. More details from Sean Ross Sapp regarding what happened after the show, or these details were released after the show, rather. Sean saying CM Punk told at least one person close to him he had an hour-long conversation with Triple H last week. We knew about that. WWE staff, reps, creative had no idea. He walked through the back in plain sight minutes before he appeared. They had cleared the area out. Triple H took over calling the show in the last couple of minutes and called for the copyright logo. Even many in production didn't know. This is backed up by some of Triple H's comments during the media scrum immediately following Survivor Series WarGames. Triple H saying this is one of those lightning in a bottle moments that came together quickly. In some ways, it's been a long time coming. Whatever you want to say about CM Punk, people talk about him all the time. For me, if our fans want it, if the WWE is excited to have it, let's go. This came together super quick, which is why it stayed very tight. Continuing, he said, he's a very different person. This is a different company. What's next for CM Punk? That's interesting. It'll be a thrill ride for the WWE Universe. Obviously, he's holding a lot back here. Tune into Monday Night Raw, eh? We're thrilled to have him back here. So a bit of the backstage reaction.
Yep.
WWE higher-ups very happy to have him back.
Yes, Triple H also commented that very few people knew about it, commenting that the top people at TKO were probably watching going, holy... naughty word.
So even people in TKO are high level, the parent company,
yep.
They weren't aware either, which is an indication of just how well this secret was kept.
Yes, absolutely. I wonder if that's also an indication of how much they trust WWE as well.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah,
because that is a huge deal to get CM Punk back on the books again as well.
You know, this is what's so great about wrestling, isn't it? Is that you really do never say never in wrestling.
Yeah.
Essentially, if there's money to be made, which there is with CM Punk, then there's business to be done.
Yep.
And we've seen that. We saw that in Chicago. We've got some information regarding the contract status of CM Punk. And this is pretty shocking, actually, from PW Insider. PW Insider told after the show by WWE sources that the deal between the two sides is believed to be several years in length, and the company and Punk had their first communications over the last week. That's how quickly this has come together.
Wow.
Several years in length. He's going to be wrestling, they say. A bit of information regarding the belief from PW Insider. WWE wouldn't have made the move if they really believed it would throw the locker room into disarray. The gut feeling is that several who have knocked Punk publicly did so as a way to build potential matches down the line, although they'll never admit it. We were told as soon as Punk was fired by AEW earlier this year, the general consensus about him potentially coming in was, let's make money, with the caveat being, as long as he's not going to drive people here crazy. I've just got word in my ear that CM Punk has hit Sheamus backstage. Oh, Sheamus isn't even there at the moment. That's a joke.
Shane McMahon.
Time will tell on that one, obviously. He hasn't been without his troubles in AEW, but Triple H saying he's a different Punk. This is a different company. Punk being very, very open about his feelings towards CM Punk, the way that his run was handled, the way that his release was handled, all of those things. It's going to be so interesting to see how this plays out. One would assume on Monday Night Raw. I'll be doing live reactions to Monday Night Raw. If you want to tune in on Monday evening, do come and join me there. It's an absolutely bat poop story to be covering.
It's
even
insane.
though we've been talking about it so much.
And even though we talked about it so much, but we spoke about it too in the reactions, that there's so many people in WWE right now that feel like they're on the path to becoming something big and champion, and now you throw Punk in the mix of that.
Everything into disarray.
It just like,
does
it's
Cody
insane.
get his WrestleMania mate? What impact does that have? Is he going after Seth? Was
That's
that
the
real?
thing.
Was that not?
Does Damian go after the World Heavyweight Championship? Does he not? What? Like, there's so many little bits and pieces, little gears in this whole thing that, like, now you throw a CM Punk in there and it just leaves us all guessing. And I guess that's why we're going to tune in for a Monday Night Raw, for SmackDown, see what's going to go and happen.
Absolutely bonkers stuff. Absolutely mental. So right now on the podcast feed, by the way, you can check out a 6-hour omnibus, 3 episodes, Punk Vember, Tom Fraser, and Aidan Gibbons telling the full story of CM Punk's AEW run from beginning to very bitter end. If you want to relive all that stuff in the run-up to Monday Night Raw, where we might see him, we'll let you know. We will no doubt be back very, very shortly. Thank you for joining us on the reactions. Thank you for joining us here on this news video. A very exciting time to be a fan of professional wrestling. He's not the devil. See ya.